So he unleashes a drive one on me on the first rat trap hole, if you guess what his name is.
What do you ever call me?
But my guess is Azure.
It was close.
Let's go see the rat trap of our white meanwhile, then explain the strategy to me though.
But no, exactly. I
Yes,
also want to explain.
exactly. But in the meantime, handicap. You've been playing for
2 years seriously, but with progress.
a 2 plus 2 practically.
Yes, a double 2 with a 2 very far, 10 years, so
Instead, you are now,
24 years old.
okay, a couple of years you've picked up. And golfing sites today, how much do we do?
Or I would say with this wind of...
Well, today there was wind, by the way, we squared the... Windy, but when has there ever been wind in our part on a plane? But never practically ever. We waited for you because so...
That's right, that's right. You have to...
And we know that you women with hair like that in the wind...
A mess. There was also rash. Right tail, left tail. This wind, you don't control it anymore.
Okay, now then, let's go see, because I think we have to drop. And then it started well, but don't lean a little on the right side, right side. There is water, and so... Babe, you know I always a little bit of trouble to see the rod, because I am a little Mr. Magoo. I can't see anything, so they thought the camp guys to make me more holes. Like so, at least I shoot randomly, and then I can choose which hole to post in. But I like this one. I like
know
this
I
one.
like
Let's
it.
go a second.
Well, here if I make
To
a hole, I
feel-
have to catch it.
But why? We ask well, meanwhile, you know perfectly well because you studied agronomy. Hello? Exactly what are you doing?
There is disease. The areas where there is disease dry, we are cutting those areas there and putting the oils of others.
And using the pit cup to go and get pieces of good greens and put them back in the places where
Hoping-
instead the disease has eaten the...
Now you remove the carrot of diseased grass to put in a carrot of good grass, and we get a green that is always top notch. Benny, I
Grass
told you that you
explained
had
you
to...
that you knew it, not me.
Explain. Thank you very much.
It goes well, however, okay, thank you very much and good work. So when around you see that they are doing work and also curiosity to understand, because what's going on before you get angry, simply because you wanted to play in the specific case here, it's much easier to crash. In my opinion, it fits white. What do you think?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I have an avalanche of holes available, so I have to put it somewhere, right?
Benny, as usual, we have to get through because we are slow as well to make small talk.
Oh, thank you. So we have a dry finished in the red stake side penalty area. Rule, we have several options for play. We can play the ball from where it stopped, but in this case it may not be convenient. We have the option of replaying the last shot taken by adding a penalty area. Do you want to go back to the tee?
No thanks, but no thanks.
An option to go back as far as we want by drawing a line that goes from the flag, goes through the point where the ball enters the penalty area, this, and then you might as well go to sleep there. Do you like that?
Was better in green maybe, however, if I really have to choose, I guess I'll have to drop it there.
Our last possibility being side penalty area. 2 sticks from the point of entry into the penalty area without approaching the hole. So measuring 2 sticks with the longest stick in your bag. In this case, the dry, you can proceed without approaching the hole. 1 stick. 2 sticks. The ball will have to fall between the entry point, this stick here, and the whole area behind it, like a semicircle.
Zach, do you mark it?
Let's mark the spot.
There it is, voila.
And off to drop.
Off to drop, let's hope for the best.
The
You would say
referees,
that.
the serious ones, the ball is in play, the player can proceed in the succession
little-
of the hole. You know she gives you this drive a little bit along.
Aber Watson. But I know it could also be the right shaft for me. 47 grams, lady. Low kick. Help me pull a little high. I want a ladies and gentlemen. My problem is I think it closes a little too much for me. It can be worked on though. especially to make an approach like that, but probably the right stick is not the dry, but
With
it's
great uncertainty, I would say a peg also, because I don't have as much choice myself in my sack. So the art of being able to make do, I would say.
Baby, sorry, come back here. Because now you've made us curious, you don't have all this choice. What does it mean?
In the sense that I don't juggle so many angles, I have a set Angola angle.
One choice, I liked it, and I almost adopted. Then relations
can
for
I say
AI
the other one?
approaches
Let me
we
see.
have, that is loft send of the series. So let's say around AI is the standard, and it fits, then we have
Angola, yes. They pick it Pratino.
and what more did you want the lob? Yes, you could have a low. However, for the handicap that has the level of play is taken off, we haven't seen that well yet. So let's give a little evaluate. However, really that's all you need.
Absolutely.
To less is more. There's a little bit less takes you out of the hassle of getting stuck in the specific case in the Taken 2, which picked the pitch because
I can see that it's pretty far away from it. So I want to hope for a little bit of next roll, even though I don't really like the way the ball is set up. However, it's pretty open.
however, it is also quite long, the
Also, exactly.
shot, and here technically you don't know, but now I'm going to tell you, and so we'll tell this is the classic 50-50 situation.
How much is 50?
That is, you have a 50% of the way to go. Where it has to fly, because it's
Exactly.
Rafa, always Chichia Boo Boo, and the other half, exactly 150% is of green, and so the ball can roll. It just happens to be the average club that makes this kind of shot. What is well the pitch? So you have to do a little sun. I chose pitch because I made a reasoning, but I'm not going to tell you about it because whatever.
Oh no,
Guys, brilliant.
commercial.
Genius, not commercial, then no 50-50. The help of the audience, the phone call home did top. The Rafa braked a little bit in.
Hi, finally, Gigi. It seems to me that you said a moment ago that rough should not be used, Tsitia Bubu. These words
I
of yours
speak,
from a few
Tsitia
seconds
Bubu,
ago
you exploited it
absorb
fully.
me.
The Rafa does not go to jump. You have to interpret well. You understand why we do the Ratrapo? Because we finally learn something. What happens when there is a windy day? We often find a lot of
Loose impediments of various kinds, which are loose natural objects that are free from the ground. They can be removed without any penalty. On putting, let's remove them, because missing a putt, because the ball caught a branch on it when the ball was perfect straight, is one of the most infuriating things ever.
branch, by the way,
That's
crazy.
right,
Okay.
crazy. Okay.
Well, the girl puts me. The line you're seeing just to break her boxes a little bit. Take away the rhythm of the game, please throw us as well.
Hola.
The question is the line, did you put it by calculating the slope or not?
Or did I come a little open, eh? This is
all about all
sleep.
the
Then
things.
there is of
We
all
try to
the
close our fifth shot in the first hole.
shame. But no.
It won't go. Close us.
So birding.
First
Hopefully-
hole closed in 6 strokes. And we go to the second. White, but the hole is that way though. What did she rightly do though? She stood outside the starting area and rehearsed, so well, in case the stick goes to create a clod, she is not ruining the starting area. This is a good practice. And you can tell from this that she also works on a golf course.
Is that so? You tell us that, or
I'm the starter of the Rovadines.
you have been the
Official starter, I would also have the brand, but here,
Official
this
and
is my brand.
However, it's a little overcast because you say it's a little cool today with this breeze.
A little bit, yes, today, yes. Cool,
And so
cool, cool.
rightly, as a starter, she is the one that is the players when they do the sod on the tee of the one, rightly she doesn't do it. A very simple practice, you take a second to rehearse and we take a second to get her out of rhythm.
Absolutely.
Team B ball in slight draw. Benny, you tell the truth. Yeah, do you play from the women's start? How many times do you hear from male colleagues that they start from behind and it doesn't count? You pull the drive longer than me because you start from the front, blah, 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 blah.
Especially in certain holes like our 6, that the distances start to increase here, still all in all. However, always the same question, same statement.
And how do you answer? By pulling the drive even longer and looking at the ferrule saying, ciao Oni.
He explained exactly how the distance differences between T and T are calculated.
Our Orca, exactly, I tell you, there is no exact rule. Exactly.
Now,
let's say, in principle, there is a range that is considered to be a range of loss of distance of the female part compared to an equal level, equal age male player. This range travels around between 10, 12, 13, 15%. Some states go more toward 15, like France, a state that has the all parties usually pretty far apart. Italy, on the other hand, is on the 10 percent, sometimes scarce. So what happens, they take the whole distance from the men. I take out the 10% they put the starting areas. Often, not always, because sometimes you can't do it. There's a river, there's a lake and things like that. What should the women's starting shot should do? It should allow two players precisely of the same level, same age, to play the hole in the most similar way possible, i.e. if a short iron drive hole, both should play short iron drive. But be careful, not only for women's starts, also for Pro Championship starts. For our senior starts, junior starts, and things like that. A hole set to have a green that should be taken with a short iron. A pitch should be taken with a pitch from almost the whole field.
Oh, I add a piece to reasoning when they come to you and say but you play from the front. You should tell them, but my handicap was taken and it's calculated by playing from those pitches. So it tends to be right for the field played that way if you were better and maybe played from further back. Probably the handicap would change, or if you go further forward, you probably would have to play a few less shots. So you know you have to tell him. But see that you play go. Then we had let you the 30, 28, 28 puts to come study first. And we have 180 buckets of first driving contest. My manhood went down the drain. In my opinion, you shouldn't play from the front. This force that women start from the front, I don't like it. I'm leaving, hello, but why?
Instead, I am of the idea that every player should play from the right tee, in which he goes
Best.
to enjoy facing the field in the conditions.
Well, possible, however, I liked her a little more before when she went in the water anyway then. Now we are at... And then we took the measurement. How do you usually take measurements? Sure. You look at the time.
You look at the
and
shadow
then depending
exactly.
on the zenith.
The shadow is how much can you give us? 144 in the center.
At 14400, 411444, and 141 at the pole, which is practically so in the center. And now after this drive bomb, what's your strategy from 28 of years for 27? Sorry.
27.
But well, it may be 24.
Same start, X24
Then-
became 27 within a month.
Why do they do these recalculations? And someone goes up, someone goes down. Okay, what do we play from this size? You're just barely in the Rafuma. The ball is nice, as they say, strung up and slightly raised. It looks almost on a little TU. What do you have at the top of the bag? Hybrid, exactly a hybrid, 4, 5. Then we have down here a wood 5, wood 3, and
a bomb. So I would say I would play a possible pitch. Now it gets there with anything.
Judio Dreyer did a little roto. She plays a beautiful. Shot a little low with a lot of draw. By the way, I saw a technical thing after Benny. I ask you a question because I want to understand if I am always curious. But coming back to us, what do you play?
I will play wood 5.
Wood 5 because we want to go in.
Yes, we try no with this dry.
Gremla, when you can, it's okay to try. And try to bring home the cuckoo. Worker. Guys.
Too much? Come on.
But it's too much.
Too much.
So much also because you did the right thing before pulling. And there is an important favorable wind now. I ask a question. Usually average with the drive you get here, or you get a little bit shorter clearly.
Obviously a little bit shorter actually, not more, because lately I was slouching it a little bit and it...
Or can a little bit wake up? One way that you have to try to figure out how much the next shot might make and look at the previous one. If you are about 10 yards ahead of your average, it is very likely that the next shot is also to be reparameterized, because what happened, you made a perfect shot but in front of the green, and here is the green a little bit uphill. Instead of being soft as it is on average, it is a little bit drier because today there is the breeze, a little bit favorable wind that helped you to push the ball. The result is that now we have a shot from behind the green unplayable, but we don't want to guff.
No cabins,
but we are making
aspect to what?
Then how many shots you want to make in this break. Still didn't tell us between the third time I asked for.
But I like the idea of the double bogey at each hole, so to stay very humble and then improve the aspect, okay?
Because already apparent with a +3 on the first one, there is already to recover in...
Wind is there then. Well, meanwhile, we're not able to guff because the ball went so bad. In fact, it's in a situation where I'm very curious to see what you do. I don't say anything and it's strange. Let's see, because it lends itself multiple shot types, strategies, and you're 2 around the green when your aim theoretically would be making. +2, so you still have 4 more shots than your desired average.
All of them,
However,
rightly
you're
so.
already suggesting I'm interested because it's a situation that can happen a lot. And here, sometimes the oats close in on the bomb. Maybe it's the right thing to do. Tell us.
My strategy? Yes.
How do you call them? Gradations, angles.
They're not.
That angle of stick mixes, i.e. You do because it's not easy.
Simple because I have a little piece before I even have the hands. Then I have that little hillock there, a little bit tricky, that if it beats me in the wrong area, hello.
Exactly, that's another problem that you pretty much have. In 90+% of the cases when you go over the green, is that you have the green sloping towards the entrance. So you're downhill.
No downhill?
So it's not super easy to dose the force and be able to stop the ball. The is more or less in the center of the green. So a feel approach. Feeling approach from feeling pull pastrello.
Well, but not very well, I would say.
Okay. The leaf exactly on the raga of the hill.
Well, what a shot, I would say, sorry.
Date but top the day. Pulp strip polo to sell. Then Gigi, do you remember the first time we saw him today, what he was doing? Practicing the course game. He was practicing on a shot that was basically this, a light cipettino, the indicesa, with beside also the Roman controlling and giving technical advice. Roman, the Roman my father's senior sign.
Mr.
You have senior and coaching the shots that will then be likely to happen in the field is a very important thing. Often we train before the competition, only in Capo Prati Pirata dei Gran Ferry 7. when then the result is not done with these shots here, I would say shot of the day, and we are still there.
In my opinion, from this distance, even you couldn't guffer enough to make her miss, however, try. But look.
Second and bastiamo l'ispettino, the left edge of the hole, so like this.
Oh, well, I had given myself as a goal the double bogey, so here, so the
So
water,
you're-
the 3-4 flags, this fold, the look.
Approaching it calmly.
Instead, grandpa compliments. Lots and lots of stuff, nothing to say.
It fits.
And here we are at the Trici hole. Moreover, today we play it with the wind against, I'd say, a good chance to make a nice omelette. Well, but that's a peach. This is a peach of white that...
By this you mean to tell me that you are buffeting her because she might go in the
No,
water?
say I found it there. Cute, curious, very extendable, telescopic. No, but
A bomb.
you're kidding. Look where it goes.
I can retrieve balls far in the water like this drag.
And no, it's free.
Benny. Oops. The back there is water. However, it also took some pine trees, and you never know.
And also the 2 crocodiles.
Exactly. There is also the orangutan, 2 small snakes, a royal roe, the cat, the mouse, the elephant. Only you can't see the 2 leocorns. You do?
The orangutan tango
The
is pretty
orangutan.
well...
Benny,
No search, and we have another ball in.
you scare me. Sometimes could not anyone.
That I did so, even slight. I didn't think this Gufata would come in. And it did also because she usually blocks it to the right as a ball. When she misses, rarely does she
And
start
today
a
was
sucker
the
to
day
the
of
left.
the left, Chicky.
Well, and look, we are getting closer to the question I want to ask you about the technique for Blanche. But first, let's see, this drop is how she goats it, and especially how she handles this position, which is not easy at all because you obviously have some water in front on the first shot, and it's okay where you will drop. The problem is that you also have water then in front of the green. We know well by now our hole with vape.
All against is a distance of about 140 yards to fly the water, and at least 150 to get to
But
greens.
from here,
or the
she has put all the life now.
And now, though, I stop. And I want to understand, you haven't dropped yet. You don't know how to put the ball. How do you choose? Oh, what a villain. That's
I can answer it because from here, even if the ball is placed very well, I don't know.
exactly was what I was getting at. Of course, I tested you. It's obvious that from here, in any situation, the ball will end up. We are never going to go try to shoot to the green.
Is really-
okay? Really, this can
Well,
help
really-
us. However, in choosing where to go to drop the ball, you see that slowly there.
There is feeling there.
There is feeling the neuron because we switch, it comes out, it goes back in, and it spins also because in this case tapeworm of the neuron.
I missed it. Frontal priority area, we can go as exact as we want with the flag line relative to where the ball enters the water. Trick for this dropping. Imagine that I am the area of entry of the ball, i.e. the last
Place where the ball flew over an area of the playable field, so not an obstacle. In penalty area,
in this case, if I go to lift my arm, you should be exactly behind my arm when you go to drop. This is the right area where you go to drop the ball if, with the rule of back as far as you want in the direction with the shaft, there is obviously a human side gap, which is considered in the arc of a stick.
okay, because I pointed that out to you, because if instead we were going to drop 2 sticks from where the ball comes in, which is the classic that you use,
Exactly.
and you've already used in the first hole, we would have slipped.
you-
This is far more than spongy and super
It disappears
spongy
the-
exact exchange, whereas instead going a little bit further back, there's a little bit more playable situation now. It's not that we really wanted to give you a hand, but where do you prefer to drop?
We'll go back as far as I want to say.
It can be there.
Sivalangi Tova, you put it badly, but not badly.
At least it wasn't photo spongy here, the soil a little hard, and so it tends to the stick harder. Do a flapper, a ma.
Let me.
You could make top trees on the other side, for example.
The right flop and the left flop.
Please, however, play serene quiet. And instead, it is accurate.
Our Reza took a world amount of wind. This ball went to the right. It looked like center court. Instead, it ended up on the right lane. I would say the end, great shot. You are bailed out of trouble.
But are you doing this on purpose because you want to show all the rules in the video then?
Absolutely, it is clear. There.
Ball on the road is immovable obstruction, so you can obviate the position first question, because you could also decide to play from there. Do you like the position? Do you want to play from there? Or do you want to obviate?
Me, obvious.
Okay, did you decide that before you know where the location is, where you are going to obviate, or did you say that because you just don't like the little road?
I don't like the road, however, I had also seen where I would obvious.
Now show us.
Let's
Then-
start by defining the rule for a moment.
I have to
Where this ball is to be dropped.
first identify the closest point.
The closest point where we no longer have interference with the immovable obstruction, considering that interference is interference of the ball, of the position of the player, and the area of the movement, then a possible point could be here is the one
We
that
hope.
do we give, because if not a possible point, could also be here. Which of the 2 points closest to the ball? A cameraman. You can see. Which one closer eventually? You can also measure without any problem. You can take
Well
a
measured,
selective-
because it is very, very borderline.
Towards this point, the distance is a drive. Towards
While
the
from
other
here
point
to-
is a drive and a couple of spans. So in this case, the closest point where to obviate is here. From this point, we have a stick without approaching the hole. Beware though, that if the point was there and you were already pulling on the ball to drop there, you would go and play the ball in this
See the
position.
position.
Almost is better to play from the alley. Nice, but not beautiful. Consider that it is not mandatory to drop the ball from immovable obstruction rather than from temporary water or dropping.
Which
Similar.
hour? So
8, 5.
at the 850, 85 in the middle. What does it give you at the bottom green? Because this is nice, long, and in fact 95 at the shaft, that is over a step. You have a lot of green in front, a little bank in the right, the water on the left. What do you play there? The ball is slightly in the rough.
Then I would be a little bit more morose. I would make a 8.
We calculated
I'm
the
still
air,
calculated and
but today I would calculate it comes into play in an important way. In this case, in my opinion, giving you a hand, but let's see what you choose.
then I go up.
Wait, I got myself.
I go up.
As Khmer, yeah, when there's wind against us, we're fortunate to be able to use a little bit more for two reasons. One, because clearly the wind brings us a little bit the ball to break, but for another reason, because the more we give it, the more the ball tends to take spin, okay? It spins on itself. This also related to the fact that the air crushes it towards us. it makes it soar more so. It's a lot easier to go get rods even a little bit harder because we can use a stick, giving it a little bit more. And that's where the donkey falls.
Ai
To
cascalata?
start playing, I had asked you 2 questions. I'll ask them again. What is the shot where you feel a little bit more confident? And instead, what is the shot, however, the situation where you struggle a little bit more? The best shot?
Best shot, distance and best shot, wood 5, we've seen it. We've
I
seen
would
it.
also add the drive today, though. Okay, remove that went a little bit in the water, and instead the thing where you struggle a little bit more,
Tarara,
the medium irons, medium
Thumbs?
long irons. So this was our AF set, and one of the
Yes.
things you get most often get from earlier, a little bit of flapping. This is always related to that question. I have to ask Benny about your device.
We postpone this question in a few videos. Follow us, subscribe to the channel, that in 10, 12, 15 videos,
Benny is going to answer
Gigi
us
will
about
ask you
this
a question.
technique that you are using, maybe not even without knowing it, though. Let's go see it.
let's go and see.
Always center and bottom.
40-55.
And in fact, it is at the shaft. However, here, the situation has changed. Meanwhile, we are shorter. Meanwhile, you are from the fairway. Meanwhile, there, you have practically the bunker in front, some avant green, the shaft at the bottom, but
Meanwhile, Gigi, you recommend measuring from these distances here? Yes.
it's not always. Then, yes, I know many people will say, but you waste time. It's not true, because if you build it into your routine, whether it's with the clock, with the steps as you get to the point, or with the laser, which let's say in these cases, it's faster to use, and you are not slow, and you get so much better because every time you reoccur in the same or more or less position, you will have a safe history, so you can replicate it in other holes too. Because sure, it's easy here if you reoccur here to put it, but if then, I find myself in Monculo di Sopra, where there is a very famous course, and I find myself at 47 meters with the long shaft. However, I don't recognize the position because the geography is different. The result is that I lose time there, because every time I have to rethink a shot that actually I already have in the arsenal,
And this
this
shot
shot,
In my
what do we
historical
have?
arsenal, I don't have that many of these shots, so I have to go and look at just the arsenal I can come up with today, and by feel.
With the shepherd, we saw you have some to see. Absentiment, Gigi.
Feeling it, but really by feeling. Just because I did pare earlier, I would say a bridino to run.
Bridino a corno. Attention, you're my idol. Take the damn Bridino, show us why it's so much stuff.
Or whatever. No, whatever, guys.
Well,
whatever.
then run away, just a little bit, just a little bit. But white goes feeling, there's none
do
for
I lose?
anyone. No, really, chapeau. In the meantime, you had a great idea.
Without an idea. Creativity should be rewarded.
Donne, bravissima. Then on sentiment, we'll get into it later. I want to ask you a question. You told us a little bit about your life outside of golf, and sentiment is involved, but you had already felt it.
Yes, I had already
Well,
felt
here.
it late. Almost never lately I hadn't been in the situation of.
Anyone but look right below in the comments, because I know there will be 100 of them saying they would have thrown a Sendone hard right with open face. No, excuse me, how many gradations we have at full throttle with the risk of the flapper of the top of whatever. While instead, there was so much green that whatever to run. It clearly made more sense. You're a little less masculine, but to you who you pray better, no look can appear so a little sweet as you
Also,
are.
because, excuse me, we start from the reds. What do we have to have masculine? We are sissies. The stroke of fear, this. Stroke of fear.
I have
stroke of fear.
a real fear of
Fear of making it too short since the hybrid had gone long for me, and fear of fear itself.
what did you use me?
Is a Sandino that, in my opinion, could have even been almost nice.
Ben. Let's start at an assumption you see our videos
Yes.
here, so you must be familiar with the Benny Sipat. Okay, yes, absolutely, but here it didn't occur to you to try to even pat?
No, it didn't occur to me. Yes, okay. A little leaf, a little bit of this, of this.
I mean, you pull them off.
Yeah.
All I was pretty smooth in front of this little climb here. However, all perfect.
One of the
Hey,
most
bravo.
insidious things that I think you rightly white thought about send is this little uphill that you goes to eliminate practically totally if you use the pat, by the way, giving you an advantage because it breaks you a little bit and you can give a little bit stronger pat.
Instead, what happens out of fear, and I see the rise in front. I try to raise the ball, actually. I raise the stick head. I catch it that way, but ball that way? Whatever.
Pong.
Come on.
Come on, you deserve it for a little bit. And Babe, come on, a good approach pitch. In my opinion here, a little bit of fear to pull the Trona, just to crash there was. And so there,
Yeah, because
it's
Not really?
it's just not given.
No! Do we still group? Do we still group? Whatever. I'll move this. Little thing that was exactly on the left edge line. You guys are
solid is
centered but
provoca.
easy. We have an 8 shot. In this is a girl high and low. Let's see.
Open down.
Is a Trona. Drive woods, I would say, perfect. He shot the Basio, by the way. He waited until he had the Baka again with the wind in his favor to pull a Saraka. You know this. If it is not 200 and... Finally, the question I ask you, Benny, I noticed that white tends to hold her hands a little bit and not unhook as much, and he...
That has improved a lot over time. She used to be a player that would get her hands way ahead on the ball, even too far ahead, so far ahead that she almost doesn't get the ball off the ground. Or to be able to get the ball off the ground, open her face so much, the stick and wide open, right? The no up.
I will say I noticed it right away because you have a definitely low ball flight, especially for the speed that he manages to impart in general, which however is not bad. That is to say, you pass pretty fast. I would expect a ball definitely a little bit higher, and instead you always have this ball a little bit low, which by the way, but why is it windy? Plays you a little bit against you on the entry shots to the green and towards the shaft. We saw it then also at our third hole where the 7 iron from a still playable raffle didn't really get going.
Yeah, I'll correct the speech we arrive with. Hands forward on the ball. If that firm position is the result of a dynamic movement of the body hand stick working synchronized that allow the stick to work under the ball and give speed and height to the ball flight. If instead the hands arrive forward and just a little bit blocked, very blocked, then they're the risk of wide open to the right rather than sometimes even sticks getting stuck on the ground because there is no release of the hands synchronized with the body, or otherwise definitely low flights like mine. Well, let's say they don't help so much. It was a type of swing you had as a child. You carried it on even while shooting. Better than throwing world shots sometimes, though. Let's say for...
Shit. In fact, though, the 7 iron that we saw at the third hole before, he had just that mistake there, that is in trying to get the ball up a little bit because, you know, you needed it a little bit. Then at that point, you try to release, but the wrong way because you are not
What does Benny say?
used to
5 meters of drive. Mamma mia. Lots and lots and lots of grand drive. Moreover, practically in the middle of the course, and we're less than 200 yards from the green in this case, and it's a par 5, so the rest of the hole is now all downhill, although actually on the flat it will be a case that the dry that started you off with a little bit more release with the ball, a little bit higher, then also a little bit more distance, maybe, yes, also helped by the favorable wind. And now what do you play there?
What do I play with it?
With 3, you play it from the ground.
The Egno 3 is a brand new graduate purchase, so it is
We
really
remember
new.
newly graduated from how many days?
So let's say if I graduated a week and a half.
A week ago. And
Yes, international relations,
so now you throw us an international shot
an international shot.
with an international stick. And the opens just barely right flirter with the...
Good shot, good shot. I guess we're going to see a shot not to run because we have the bunker in front of the shaft, and in my opinion it's touching his lob.
Child, that if on feeling he gets the stroke to run and she makes stroke to run the same,
You called yourself a shy social animal.
Exactly.
Because I loved it so much, I'm sorry, but I couldn't not report it.
Because while I'm not the classic social party animal, I am an animal that thrives on relationships. And this is also what allows me to do golf.
Of relationships, let's say, of a certain level,
sorry.
in the sense going into it and making speeches a little bit more substantial than not nice or pass me that room. So I social animal, I stopped there. No, I loved it because you don't have huge ambitions, let's say, competitive side.
Absolutely not.
Like little bit, it shows. I can tell you, in my opinion, if you watched him well, Rat Trap, you will have noticed that he doesn't do as much routine, doesn't have as much study behind, especially in the short game, which is where it tends to bring home the result that yes.
and where he brings home the result,
Because it has a little bit of the crazy shepherd, is because it has the feeling, because to have relationships on a certain level, you have to have the feeling to be able to empathize with people. And you were telling me that you play a little bit whoever it happens to be because you like this thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's one of the nice things then about the game of Go, being able to play with anybody, regardless of level of play, social status, age, gender, any stuff you can play, become friends with any person. And White in this circle is the classic example. She plays with anybody and everybody. Thinks she is a perfect player's company.
So tell us the 2 people that have impressed you the most lately, not on the golf side, but because you discovered them in playing with them.
I'd golf there. There is this gentleman, 84 years old man, who up to 81 was going to run as well on the San Siro Mound after he had done 18 holes here. And this gentleman gave me a charge because he made me really understand that the only limit is the mental limit if you want to. And he is an example, for example.
So, Benny, I am 84 years old. Where are you going to run to?
With the confetti throwing physique that I find myself miracle if I come. And then from another, from fast.
Well, without saying one particular person, I play with a company that, having been born in 42, practically lived through the war. And these are my playmates of the heart. And every now and then they tell me a little bit about their childhood, also about their life experiences, which are remarkable.
A little bit easier. Well, I was hoping for the third come nothing. Instead, it doesn't come because you are the air director girl who did the Rat Trap. So go review the Rat Trap absolutely because it was so much fun. I thought, well, then it introduced me to love golf. And instead, if you don't care, we have the others to talk to. But you know,
The first hole here, bunker.
also throws the elements, throws this. Is an old man stuff that you haven't seen the cartoons where they used to throw? The components then. You are one.
You are one
To
seed.
the rod that's long,
It's long.
that we play with it.
Yeah, bunker, bunker. I would still make an approach.
How is the ball put? Because the live of the ball, a little, like we were saying before, along with the routine on the pack, are really two things that you miss completely.
Yes.
Because I love to goof you, it's just to point out
Oh, come on.
that it's in a not really happy position because it's got some clumps around it and the ball is almost in a hole. And here we need to get it up, and you've analyzed before. It's not really that it has an explosive lob ball flight. So what do you play me with two bunkers in front of it? But you really come to do this stuff? I hate myself when about me you said,
No Sandino. No Sandino is likely to be a little short and go into the stall.
no, but there is. From the
from the
frame I
whole
get back in the frame, you threw it to me in the frame.
And Sandino so much, the worst enters the bunker. You also get out of it, no?
Feeling. Ball in the air. A break slide. Just barely off the step left flag.
But go,
Between colors and
was he...
there is
I don't know what my pitch is. However, I'll throw one up at random. Let's see.
It sounds like an idea to me. We have your pitch, but you have to get it right all the time. Good as it is, progress advertising.
Yes.
once you take a green, you raise your pitch, but it's signal that you've arrived in flight. Green is away. For greens.
Well, does it affect the wind so strong on path so long? Yes, because you have seen it is definitely yes. The slope does not go to the left.
The last bit of the
Decisive.
green here is practically flat in billiards, and the ball deflected a span at least to the left when you started to pull very hard, especially on very fast greens on a very long path. You have to be careful.
We tell her this is the path to beat what she would have wanted to do on the rat trap because it would make +7 versus an assumed +8. We tell her we are going to make it. You see, practically formality.
No, whatever, then she didn't miss one of these crazy ones. So
Then one that puts the line. What are we talking about?
he says the last pat he missed, this was 87. This. Oh dear. Serious.
With are the
Hands position?
alone in position from the hands.
Here is also the shadow distracting me. Now, not enough.
Especially if it ends up in the hole. I cover the butter and the ball ends up. As if we had Bufato, please. Conclude me.
Then we close with +8. Exactly what you had called a roller coaster
exactly.
ride between ups and downs, triple bogey par, quadruple bogey. And giving away a shot really is a heart.
Somewhat given away. Well, let us know what you think of white below in the comments, and it fits. Tell me something.
Hi there.
Go like this.
It doesn't look like that.
Very good. Shot that comes easier to you.
And now, though, I'm going to guffle if I say the easiest
Oh,
goal.
so much.
Well, let's say the little book and the little wood are the ones a little bit more much
It's
stuff.
tough.
Yeah. I help.
B, I didn't understand anything anyway. We have ready.
With her, back, dark, dark, dark. It's for fun though, it's okay.
One.
Hey, but I'm there, I live with this guy, there's to do with this guy, we live together, there's to do with this guy.
That you. You approach, but in the sense, every time there is a different thing.
However, we see you are communicating with each other.
Set headphones. In airplane mode progress advertising,
I was waiting.
The nice thing is that if you speak softly now, you can hear perfectly the water. So right now, you can also insult Gigi and tell him he has a beard that looks like...
Blanche, Blanche, here I am. I have a tail.
we got the microphone off. There is a tail. This is forbidden in minors.
And I also have a geographical scene, one of the two.
Brilliant. There fits.
There fits little, but there fits there.
But straight was straight. Short.
Then of women. What is? Why do women start ahead? Why am I doing this? This thing here closes the video. I don't like it.
What is the technical thing, Gigi?
Doesn't know if you made it up at the time.
Exactly, is to create a... Guys. You attacked me.
For us, yes, yes, for us, the photonic.
Liked the idea.
Yes.
The good, but
I go then. In this case, it went well.
I would have used another word, however, yes, it went
we
bad
started
for
from
me.
the red. Once I'm getting worried, there is to measure between the...
Contest, Misuria. Unfortunately, it happens, and in fact, with woods, it goes bumblebee.
Tells me wooden 3 is not for you then.
There is a mantra I will use from now on. And God forbid.
Say fucking shame.
No, not. I feel that here starts a will be caparara, yeah.
You already put the ball on the green to make the thing.
Oh, there's the plus, that is how much you give us, and we put the ball exactly where you want it, and there's the various cost ranges.
I remain humble.
There is, but you want it with the back, with the backspin, or that you break it, the backspin costs more.
We can put a pitch mark wherever we want. Part for birdie, so we have
The par quadruple, how much we are there, how much we are. E +3, the first, for the square. Square, square. Just 7. 7 fits. And we, without abacus, I am not able, want calculator.
There fits.